Hello, social media. How are you guys doing? I'm hoping that Lady Payne is in the room. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome, 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 welcome. I am live. Hello, everyone. We are celebrating my book. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Super duper excited. So excited about it. Celebrating my book. I am waiting for someone to join on, but if she's not able to, because I see her on, but I'm unable to connect her. So I just want to say hello to everyone in social media land. And I am super duper excited to start the process of talking about my book. And I'm going to see if she's able to hear me. Let me see. Hello, Lady Payne. Lady Payne, can you hear me? Hello. Are you there, Lady Payne? Hello, 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 hello. Okay, she's pausing, so I don't know what's going on. So I had somebody here to celebrate with me. I might have to pull Bishop Clyde Horton Jr. to come and celebrate with me. I want to see one more time if she's able to hear me. I don't know if she is. So I'm gonna try again. Lady Payne, are you there? Can you hear me by any chance? All right. If not, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started. I'm super duper excited about this book. You are the fragrance. It's my seventh book, and I'm so excited about it. My seventh book that I wrote. Amazing. And this book is dedicated to Pastor White. Bishop, I'm gonna get a chair so you can come and kind of help me celebrate. Thank you, Miss Simone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Tamika. All right. I don't know if Lady Payne, I'm gonna kind of take her off and see if she's have a chance to join us. I'm hoping that she does join us, but I'm not for sure. We're having technical difficulties right now. Difficulties, so I don't know what's going on the end. But I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate this book, and I'm gonna bring Bishop on with me. But while he's getting ready to come, so this is unorthodox right now with this book. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run it. That's a part of that. So I'm super duper excited. Why? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you heart it up? Let me know that you can hear me. This book is so near and dear to my heart. Why? Because it is dedicated to Pastor Wives. But don't stop watching because it's not just for Pastor Wives, but it's also for that individual that works along the side with the pastor wife, that loves their pastor's wife, that if you really, really love your pastor's wife, you definitely want the inside of a pastor's wife. What is this book about? This book is about seeing the church. It's a sequel to the Church Hurt But It Helped. And if you read my book Church Hurt But It Helped, you definitely want to read this because you get an opportunity to see other women and what they experience and what they go through as a leading lady. Yes, if you know me, you know I'm raw and I'm ratchet and I love the Lord with all my heart, but I keep it real and 100 in this book. And so I think she's on. I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna keep her and Bishop here. Let's see if she can jump on because I wanted to share it with a first lady on here with me. Let me see will this work. All right. I wanted to share with the first lady. I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to share with the first lady. Why? Because I have first ladies that are reading this book now, and that's coming together to read the book, and I'm super duper excited about it. And with that, if you again, if you are a person that's in ministry, you definitely want to read this book, y'all. I'm trying to get my thoughts together because this dang old system, if I could be real, is running me raggedy. But Lady Payne, if you can hear me, I'm gonna just rock with Bishop because I don't know what is happening on the other end. We're gonna come back together. She has a talk show, you guys. Lady Payne is out of Maryland. She's out of Maryland by Washington. She's my girl. I love her big. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do a talk show together on her radio station. She's a part of my mentorship that I do. Go check her out. She has a radio station and some great, amazing things that she's doing down in the Maryland area. All right. So with that said, Honey Dip, I know you just jumped on. You don't even know what's going on. But can y'all heart it up for my hubby, my baby daddy? Put the number one on the screen. If you could just yell on your side of the screen just by putting the number one, saying what's up, Bishop. Y'all, again, unorthodox. We just gonna dive into this and just kind of talk about it. And he has the book, but here's the thing. I've been telling him about the book. There we go, Bishop. We got some people in the screen. Ah, thank you, Sister Dendra. Okay, because I couldn't see these messages. Thank you, Sister Dendra. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Tamika. All right, Bishop. So now that I have you on and um, we're celebrating this book, man. What do you think? What you have to say about it? Because I don't want to talk about the book myself because I'm gonna come back during my birthday month. So put it on your calendar. I was trying to squeeze it in and it was impossible to make it happen. Bishop, they saying, hey Bishop. Whoop, whoop. But making it happen, I tried to make it happen sooner. But what I am going to do, I'm going to do a book club with this book. So if you do not have the book, go ahead and get the book today. You get a book along with a purpose planner. Now I can't do it as special as I did the other people that pre-ordered because anyway, just order the book and we could talk about it. So Bishop, talk to us, honey.
Well, I would say a couple things. First of all, can everybody just really quick just celebrate Pastor T for her seventh book? Her seventh book.
Yes.
I mean, whatever you got to do, throw numbers, throw love, throw hearts. I think it is a huge
Thank
accomplishment.
you.
It's a little country girl out of Cold Spring, Texas, out of Point Blank, Texas,
Yes, sir.
have not just written seven books and defied the odds of being an author.
Hmm.
She's also reached out across the country. My wife has been touching ladies from Baltimore, Maryland, California, I mean, Alaska. We have two beautiful first ladies
Yes.
and their families. I do
And
know
Mexico. Don't leave out Lady
Mexico, Lady
Perez
Perez.
from
Um,
Mexico.
and so even though I haven't read the book yet, I definitely have it on my read list. It's on my desk now. I wish I would have read it before now. But it
That's
is my
okay.
read list. I'm going to read a book. I read all my wife's books. She has not written a book that I have not read besides this one. It's on my list to do next. But even though I haven't read the book yet, doesn't mean I haven't heard the story. I've
Right.
heard the story,
Right.
and I mean, just looking at the title itself, Tanya Hardin, you are the fragrance. You are the fragrance.
Yes.
Dealing with
Ooh.
the pastor's wives. But listen, and when I hear the bottom part here, it says principles on how to stay connected to God, marriage, and ministry. And I'm
Mhm.
gonna deal with it real quick, and I'm gonna ask her some questions, but I want to kind of tell y'all how important that is because my wife, she has a women's group called the Pastor Wives Connection (PWC), and she has organically built this group. Last
Now
year,
rebuilding.
yeah, I was going to say last year it was hacked and it was destroyed. And the unique thing was those women, many of those women came back,
Yes.
joined on top of that group, and they came in there. And I believe they came because she is teaching them how to number one, how to stay connected to God,
Yes.
how to stay connected to marriage, and how to stay connected to ministry. And she
Yes.
always says in that order.
In that order.
So I'm excited about that. And I had the luxury and the pleasure of getting on that group this past week. And when I was on that group, the pastors, let me tell y'all something. This book is not just speaking to first ladies. The pastors got on that page and were sharing how excited they were to hear that their wives' lives are being changed. So I want y'all to know this is not just words that sit in the book. They're actually changing their lives. So
Yeah.
my question to you,
Okay.
since you threw me on the hot
I
spot,
know,
I'm gonna
right?
throw you on the hot spot.
Yeah.
What, as you wrote this book, and listen, and many people don't understand. My wife didn't write this book just for first ladies,
Right.
and she wrote this book also for you and me.
Hmm.
Explain that. What do you mean when you say this book is not just for first ladies, but this book is for pastors, members, or anyone?
See, I knew Bishop was gonna do this. This, yeah. I say this book is not just for first ladies, is because everybody has a fragrance that they carry. Every woman has a fragrance that they carry. Every woman has an anointing about them that is so unique and so different. I'm called to women, and I know that. I know that I'm called to women that have been broken, that have been bitter, that have been in a place of being hurt. I'm called to those type of women. I get passionate about it because I'm called to those type of women. But my thing for writing this book is that I wanted other women to see why it's not important, or why it's so important not to put a pastor's wife in a box. That no woman belongs in a box. No woman belongs in this category that people put pastor wives in. And so I wanted to share that. Like, no one has the right to say you can't, you need to, you should, you should not, right?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to share that part of a pastor's wife for people to see that pastor wives have feelings, that also to allow the pastor wife to see that members got feelings,
Yeah.
that members get hurt, to allow staff members to understand. If you are a staff member, you definitely want to read this book because you work closer to the pastor's wife than anybody within the church. And so I'm sharing these principles for pastor wives, but also for other people to be able to see the heart of a pastor's wife. To understand that every pastor's wife is not out to hurt. We're shunned off for a reason.
Yeah.
We're out all standoffish for a reason. And so I want to share that, but I also want to share to that pastor's wife, don't be the bougie one. Don't treat them like they're nothing. Don't treat them like they're going through. Don't treat them like they're beneath you. Don't treat They're people too.
Yeah.
Like, and we're all God's people. We're all trying to make it. We're all trying to do better. We're all trying to grow. That's the reason for this book. So it's not just for a pastor's wife, but it's for that person that want to see through another woman's eyes, that can tell you, man, I'm human.
So
That's it.
I got a few more questions on this,
Okay.
but I want y'all to do me a favor. I know some of you are watching. First ladies are out there. I hope there's some first ladies on here that actually read the book already. I know you have lady. What was the young lady name supposed to be here with you?
Lady
Lady
Payne. Oh,
Payne.
I hate she couldn't be on here.
Lady Payne, if you're still watching, I want you to do me a favor. If you have already read the book, now don't just ask questions if you haven't read the book. If there's a first lady out there who's watching right now, because my wife sent the book out, she gave the first edition, the unedited edition, to a group of women who were taking her mentor class. They got a chance to see it. The
Shout
raw.
out to Butterfly Academy Mentorship, Pastor's Wife Masterclass that we are going through, life changing. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to do a
No,
shout out to
this is
them.
your party, girl. You can interrupt if you want to. So if you are out there, I want you to do me a favor and say, I'm here. I'm here. Throw a number five up and say, I'm out here. I've read the book. I've read parts of the book. And if you are there, I want to see your hand.
Lady
Hey, look,
Trivia then came
she
back
done
on.
came
She
back.
like, I'm not.
Throw it on, just to get on there.
I don't know how to
Click on it
do
real quick, and then that'll.
it. Lady Trivia, are you there, girl?
He's in the
She's
building.
so we're gonna do this together, Lady Trivia. Okay? Can y'all heart it up for Lady Trivia out of Maryland, out of
I
MD?
prefer you to. I'm telling you, the enemy wants to be busy, but God is in control.
Yes.
The
What?
best thing is keep moving, and we leave him behind. He can't keep up with us.
And the crazy
Absolutely.
thing, I love how God does stuff because I wanted to do it with two people. And so why not have it from a pastor's perspective and a pastor's wife perspective? So it all works out very, very well. So welcome. They're harding it up, Lady Payne, for you. You can't see it. I'm looking at it right now. Everybody's harding it up for you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for fighting through and joining with us. I want you to tell them a little bit, because Bishop was asking a question. We're going to come back to your question. Tell them a little bit about you, where you're from, and tell them about your radio station really, really quick.
I am from Baltimore. I am a mother. and a beautiful friend. I am owner of Trivia's Inspirational Radio, which is 24/7 Christian music, motivational, inspirational, and encouraging. I am the founder of Bondage to Grace Connection, an organization for children affected by incarceration. And I am also a second grade education, amongst other things. But that's just where I want to take it today.
So glad to have you on, Lady Trivia.
Thank
So Bishop was asking me about
That what first thing I want to know. There's other first aids on here that's read this book. I want you to chime in because I think it's only fair that you get a chance to say how the book has helped you, or say ask a question about that. But then you said something before, and I want to say this, and I'm gonna back up and let Lady Trivia step in, and I'll just intervene as you asked me to. But you said something that was very powerful earlier. You said talked about that this book is helping first ladies,
mhm,
and it's not just first ladies who are going through. That this also book represents women in
right
general.
in general.
So kind of chime in a little bit more on that. How does this book apply to a woman who maybe is a housewife, a woman who's a career woman, a woman who is an entrepreneur? How does this book help her?
The way that this book help a woman that is not a pastor's wife, it allows you to see there's some parts in the book. What's up, Lady Thomas? But there's some parts in the book where we are talking about we're talking about staying connected to God. You know, you don't have to be a pastor's wife to stay connected to God. We're also talking about staying connected to your marriage. That could be a marriage woman. And I'm giving you principles on the importance of keeping your marriage sacred, keeping your marriage with the foundation of God. I'm talking about that. I'm also talking about staying connected to ministry. That could go for anybody across the board.
So a woman is a fragrance everywhere she is.
Everywhere she goes. When I say you are the fragrance, what I'm saying is that there is an aroma that you carry. Come here. I feel the glory. Listen, Lady Trivia, there's an aroma that we carry as women, right? And that aroma that we carry, there are people that are assigned to your aroma. There are
yeah.
people that are assigned to your anointing. There are people that are assigned to your calling. There are people that are assigned to your aroma. So this can go either way. The reason why I chose a pastor's wife is because the pastor's wife, I always say this, the reason why I started Pastor's Wife Connection is because if you're able to empower a pastor's wife, you're able to encourage a pastor's wife. Now you encourage the entire church. If you're able
Hey,
to encourage the entire church, now you're able to encourage entire city. So there's an aroma that a pastor's wife carry that may be different than a woman, but everybody has their own aroma. That there's an assignment on every individual that's watching this live right now. There's someone that is assigned to your remnant, to your pain, to your issues, to your problems, and they're assigned to that.
yeah.
That's you are the fragrance. You got a fragrance to you that people love about you. That could be your sickness, that could be your cancer, that could be your marriage that's torn in pieces, and now you're able to help somebody else. Oh, I could preach, so let me stop.
You know what? I'm gonna say real quick, Lady Trivia. I want to back up, but while she was saying that, something came to mind. We had an aunt. There's a beautiful woman, and she's so dear into my heart, and people were threatened by her. And the way they attacked her was by telling her she had an odor.
Ah, yes.
And when they told her she had an odor, she was so
Mm,
self-conscious
about her
about her
odor.
odor
Hmm.
to where she separated from people.
Yeah,
The devil will try to tell you that your fragrance isn't important or it isn't as strong as you think it is, and it will cause you to separate from people.
come on.
And it took her strength away.
Yes, it did.
So when you're giving women their strength back,
Yeah. Oh, glory. Come on here, Bishop.
I'm just want to sit back. Y'all go
Okay,
ahead. I'm
Lady
gonna sit
Trivia.
back.
So you've read the book, okay?
Yeah.
Because you know me. You didn't learn me by now, sugar. In the mentor class, I go in. So
Yeah.
help that person that hasn't. What have you gotten so far from this book?
Well, first of all, just the marriage ministry in itself, especially as a pastor's wife. Someone asked me about it probably 2 weeks before I got the book. Do I read anything? And I'm like, no, I haven't read in a while. Like I got the book and I couldn't put it down because it was ministering to a place where I was familiar. I
Mhm.
went through that being a new pastor's wife, and I've been a pastor's wife for about 13 or 14 years now. and I'm just learning. And I had to go through those difficulties in ministry, in marriage. I mean, like, and I just keep stopping right there because it was a time where I thought ministry was destroying my marriage. And
Oh,
again, if I would have had a tool of this nature, I probably wouldn't have experienced a lot of the heartache. But as the book says, we have a fragrance, and a lot of women are drawn to that fragrance, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing, whether it's a good fragrance or a negative fragrance. They're just drawn, and it's because it's a part of God's plan and it's a God's purpose. And when He called, and I'm going to be the bearer of bad and good news. When He called our husbands, He called us, whether we wanted that job or not. We were still called into the ministry,
hmm.
and it's some things that we and I so far what I've gotten out of the book is I have a job, and I love when you said this book is for all women because as a wife, as a pastor's wife, that's just an added bonus to it. But as a woman, there's some things that I should know just being a woman by itself.
Come
When
on.
I'm walking with my husband, if I'm respecting him, if I'm doing certain things, then I don't have to worry about what he's not doing or what he is doing. And I'm going to just end with this part. I used to say all the time when we play our roles, whether the other one is not doing it, God already ordained us to do a certain thing as a wife, as a pastor's wife. And we don't talk about this a lot because the Bible don't talk a lot about a pastor's wife. But as a woman, when we're handling our roles as a wife, then everything else falls into play. And I just love the book. I'm just saying.
Lady Payne texted me and was like, I'm on page 45. I think you only had the book a week. She was
No,
like,
I had the book days.
how many days?
Days.
2 days. Oh my gosh. And that's amazing to me. Here's the thing though, and I guess I can't wait to pray. Awesome. I can't wait till y'all purchase it either. Oh. But I wanna ask either one of y'all this. I wanna ask, like, when it comes to why do you think a pastor's wife or a woman? I'm gonna say pastor's wife and then I'll talk about a woman. Why do you think a pastor's wife, why is this necessary? If that makes sense.
It's necessary. Bishop,
Yes, ma'am.
charge it to my heart. Charge it to my heart. A pastor needs a pastor's wife. Period. Like you can't do this work by yourself. And you can have all of your deacons and all of your laymen and women, but a pastor's wife has insights that sometimes the pastor do not have. And they'll come back later and say, she said that. But in the beginning, you're the one that's calling out those demonic spirits. You're the one that's calling out those things that's not. You're the one interceding for the pastor, even when he doesn't know that you're interceding on his behalf to stop things from coming to attack him. And he doesn't even realize that you're interceding in your closet when nobody else is around.
Yeah, come on.
Can I add to
I,
that?
Go ahead, go ahead.
So you're right, and Lady Trivia, don't you dare apologize for it because us as pastors, and you on the call that night, and you saw how transparent I was about the value of my woman. But listen, it goes as far as this, right? In our church, I said for a long time, I am over the operation, she's over the observations. I'm over the operation, she's over the observations. And being part of the observations is knowing what's going on in the atmosphere, what's going on in the church. It goes as simple as this, Lady Trivia, is that when I do operations, I try to make sure the church is taken care of as far as from the time service starts to the time service is over with. My wife worry about the incense in the foyer. She worry about the decoration in the church. And what would it be like if I told my wife, "Don't worry about that. Let another woman set the smell of our church, set the decoration of our church."
Oh Jesus,
I've
that just
given
hit me the
another
wrong.
woman the opportunity to set the atmosphere in our church.
Oh yes, sir.
And when she set the atmosphere, she's setting the standard in our church of what it's like as soon as you hit the doors. The church should smell like my wife. The
Come
church should
on.
smell like the woman who have set the atmosphere in the spiritual realm before she set the atmosphere in the natural realm. So it's important that we put the first ladies in their natural and spiritual place in the ministry.
Come
Amen.
on. I
Amen.
want to say this to the woman, to a woman out there that may decide, hey, I want to get this book, or I want to learn more about my pastor's wife. I believe because there's some things that I talk about in this book, and we're going to go a little bit deeper here in a minute. But there, to a woman that is watching, I want to encourage you is that in your home, you set the standard, you set the fragrance. It's like if mama's not right, the entire house is not right. So I always talk about the characteristics of a woman because your characteristics that you carry is so necessary and so important to make sure that we as women are healthy women. What I mean healthy, I'm talking about spiritually. We need to be both naturally and spiritually healthy, but we got to be willing to say, you know what? I set the atmosphere in my home and wherever I go with my attitude and my altitude. Come here. I set the atmosphere in my home with it's all about how I act and what I feel like today. I love Steve Harvey. I know, he may be cussing, whatever, but I love Steve Harvey. I love him because he's such a motivator to the point to where I wake up in the morning with an expectation because I allowed what I've learned from him to teach me how to, and I don't get it right because some days I tell these children, look here, now today is not the day. You got to know what. Thank you, Conley. By the way, your book cover is so beautiful. Therefore, when Bishop hold the book up, please allow the book to clearly shown to show the beauty. Oh, thank my team did this. Candace Harris, she's absolutely amazing, and she did a great job with this.
Oh, you got the hard copy.
The hard copy is behind you, but also it's just knowing that you have the fragrance that you carry, and so we got to make sure that as women, period, that we find a way to find think pink. I always say, I got to think myself happy. So it's learning to think yourself happy, but it's learning to also get those principles and applying them to your life, and that's a lot of principles. Do you see how thick this book is? You see that? Don't let it intimidate, right, Lady Payne? Don't let it intimidate you. Tell them.
Eh, don't let it. And get the journal too. I'm just saying.
Lady Trivia, tell them what you told me about the thickness of the book.
First of all, when I looked at it, I was like, I can't read this book. It is so much. But when I opened the book, it was reader friendly. First of all, because I'm not an avid reader, I am Dr. Trivia Payne, ABD, and I hate reading. That's just my disclosure. But when I opened that book, I was able to read it. I was able to understand it. The thickness. Don't let the cover. Nope, let me rephrase that. Let that cover make you open it up and see what's in there because most of the time they say don't let the outside fool you. When I opened that book, I was surprised. I'm just like just it was an easy read. It was relatable to my life as a pastor's wife, but it was also relatable to my life as a woman. And I have to keep saying that because if I would have known Pastor Tanya Hardy before now, I would have had a lot of other easy things going on in my life. But God had to allow me to go through it. And like I said, when I read the book, I was like, oh, this is what you were telling me. But I was able to read it. It wasn't like reading the Bible and it was so little and I couldn't make it out. And no, I didn't cry. I laughed because I knew what she was talking about.
Wow. I gotta ask you a question. So my wife is very transparent, and for the lack of better words, I allow her to speak bluntly and openly about our marriage, about our ministry. What was the most surprising thing you read in the book so far about her relationship as a first lady to her husband as a pastor? I ain't read the book
Wow.
yet. Give me the secrets.
I'm going to tell you like this. I'm in the class, so nothing surprises me. Um, And another disclosure is we had a conversation and our lives resemble so much. I think that I had a rough start to being a pastor's wife. And just, I'm going to say it the nice way, but just the fact of not wanting to and serving. And I just think I always thought that it was just me. when I didn't want to get up and go to church some days, and I looked at people like whatever, and just to know that she was so real, that she is so real and transparent, it gives me confidence with knowing that no, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing what God called you to do, but you can do it a little bit better. You can do it differently. And I'm going to use the term respect for me because I remember the day my husband said, "Well, you don't respect me." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm serving you. I'm doing everything you're calling me to do, but respect looks different." And that's what I took from that. The book was we might not use the same words, but to say, "Hey, I'm not going to church. I don't feel like I belong here." That's a respect thing. And it helped me to see it's not that serious. Girl, get yourself together and do what you're supposed to do.
Wow.
I think too. I let the cat out the bag in the book because you said something right, and that cat out the bag is really telling you how a pastor wife really feel. Like that
Yeah.
part that is in the book that I don't really want to be here on this Sunday. And I
Yeah.
talked about that. What do you have to say about that part of giving all the insight of what pastor wives go through?
It's interesting because it's something that I've been praying about, and I'm one of the most transparent people I know, outside of y'all. But I've always feared being as transparent. And I would go to church and I would be like, I don't want to be here today. I'm here because God is telling me to be here. And my husband is looking at me like, I don't know what you might say from 1 minute to the next. But you have to be transparent. You have to, I mean, it's certain things that you can't say or you shouldn't say, but being transparent and being open and honest with where you are, I believe helps the people receive you because otherwise they're going to look at you because you don't say anything like, oh, she's just being funny acting or she's just being snobbish, but they don't know what all you have to go through. They don't know what you have to internalize from one Sunday to the next. And I'm going to put it out there. There are many people in the church, WOMEN, that don't have respect for the pastor's wife. So when they're not wanting to get up and go, then they're looking at you crazy. But when you're
Uh oh,
Oh
baby, because
wow.
she was going to go in.
when you're transparent and just like, this is how I'm feeling. Well, it's not, it may not even be, I don't want to come to church. I might not want to participate on that project.
Uh oh, you went mute, Lady Trivia.
You muted.
Can you
Okay,
hear me?
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I didn't put a disclosure not to call me. um, but when we are transparent, it helps others to receive us the way that they're supposed to. I think that is a great thing. You, God sending you in my life at the time that He did helped me out because I was praying, God, please, I just need to be able to speak. I need to be able to amplify my voice about this thing. And when I just see the resemblance of so many things, we have to. So I think that that was something that's needed, not only for pastor wives, but for members of the congregation, because they need to know this is how we feel on an everyday basis. A lot of pastor wives don't have a Bishop Hardy who tells us, "Be free, speak. We're shut up. We can't say stuff."
Right.
And I be honest, be transparent. I wanted my wife to be quiet for years. I stifled her for years. I thought that was the safest thing to keep her protected and to keep the church protected.
I think it was. I must say, I got to add, because you always say that. And I think it was the safest thing for me because sometimes, you could say the wrong thing and you don't say it the right way. And so it helped, but it wasn't great either.
I don't think I should have stifled her and shut her up, though. I think that we should have developed what we have now. And as an
True.
open line of communication for her to be able to say, baby, I need to say this. What do you think? And I say, go ahead and say it, girl. I said, change how you going to say that.
Hmm.
And something you said also, Lady Trivia, and I'm finding out, and please, people, and I need y'all to amen me on this one if I am true, if this is right. Women are vicious. And
Oh,
Hey,
I'm honest. And so it's not just pastor wives that women come after. I've seen a lot of times when women are in position of authority anywhere or position of winning anywhere, they become a huge target for women in general.
Come
So
on.
what they're trying to do is demolish your fragrance.
Yep.
They're
Oh.
trying to make their listen. Men are like dogs. We set our territory. We know we walk around and we urinate on things to try to set our territory. But really, truthfully, we're smelling for the women. We sense
Oh, you make it so
the
deep.
women. And if another woman feel like you outsense her, she's gonna try to make your aroma less attractive. And
Yep.
so just know they're not attacking you, they're attacking your fragrance.
Oh,
And listen. When they attack your fragrance, if you allow them to remove you because your fragrance is already dominant. So the
Amen.
only way they can really attack your fragrance is by getting you to leave the room.
listen.
So or getting you to respond outside of your fragrance.
But you
How?
know what, Bishop? That's funny that you say that because early on in pastoring with my husband, him being a pastor, and I'm in the background, and I've heard all of everything that I could say, the messiness and everything else. The one thing that stood out to me was if I left, or as long as they thought that I was going to leave, then they had the control. But it was a point in time years ago in 2015 where God said, no, you don't have permission to not be there. So he started removing those who didn't need to be there because I was obedient, and I'm still there to the day. And I just watch them come and go. But they want to run that fragrance away because they know that if I if me as a pastor's wife is if you as a pastor wife is not there to cover your husband, that's when the enemy is free to run wild and rampant and do whatever it is that the enemy wants to do.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Go ahead.
And I'd say, ladies, transfer the word fragrance to value.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Amen.
You
Ooh,
got, you got, you are the value. You got to know your value. You got to know your fragrance. And my wife over the years learned that, and this is her journey. Over the years, she found out that I am somebody.
I gotta say this. Shout out if my spiritual mother, and if y'all don't know her, Lady Gail Woodard, my mama, my spiritual mother. If it was not for, a matter of fact, she wrote my forward. So can y'all heart it up for my spiritual mother, Lady Gail Woodard? She wrote my forward. Woo, 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 woo. She wrote my forward in my book, and I bless God for her because everything that I seen her do, I saw. I didn't know what she experienced, but here's what I found out is that she taught me the staying power. Come here. She taught me the staying power. And this is what I'm teaching in this book is what she taught me is the importance of you got to stay. I don't care
amen.
what you do. And she told me these words and I did not understand her when she said it, but it was a woman speaking of wisdom. She told me, she said, daughter, you're the mother of the house. And if you know her, she real sweet talking. But she was eating, letting me know, don't you dare. You're the mother. And what she was saying, there's a level of maturity that you should have as a woman. And I don't just say that for past wives, but I say that for women, period. If you are a kingdom
Amen.
woman, there's a standard that we should have. There's some things that we should be able to say, I'm not quitting.
Yep.
I don't care what go down. I just told a client before my call. I said, whatever you do while you're writing, don't you dare let distraction stop you from writing. Because when
Yep.
you're birthing out something, and it's not just being a pastor's wife, but any woman, period. When you're birthing out something, distraction comes. We should know that by now.
Yep.
We should
Amen.
know that. So, but what happens in the church, and you're right, Lady Payne, if I can get her to quit, we did our job. And it's nothing against them. And this is what I teach in the book. It's not the person. And
Amen.
I was sharing the part of the book called The Blessing. I don't know if you got there yet.
I
The
get it.
blessing in the betrayal. And I talk about the different spirits, the narcissistic spirit, the narcissistic, say it for me.
Narcissistic.
Narcissist.
Yeah, a narcissist, what that kind of spirit, a Jezebel spirit. I also talk about the spirit of Ahab. I talk about these different spirits for a reason because you got to know what you're fighting against. You're not
Amen.
fighting against, you're not fighting against flesh and blood, and that's in life, period. That's
Amen.
anybody can take that bone, catch it. That whatever you're fighting against a spirit. Anything that is getting you to get off focus, get distracted, get disconnected, and get discombobulated. That you got to find, okay, what I'm fighting against. What is this? And you got to realize that you have different people that walk in your church. I can't tell you how many times witches that in what I man, and I knew they was coming, and I said, oh my God, Lord, how am I gonna fight this? Keyword, type this in the screen. Love them.
Yep.
Love the hell out of them. How about that?
Amen.
Love them. And that's what I
But
learned. Just love. Go ahead.
you know what, Pastor? The one thing about loving on them, you don't even have to prove that it's genuine. Because I had so many people ask me, well, how can I love on them?
Somebody's calling her
Somebody
again.
call.
And I just tell them I only can do what God allowed me to do. And it's not fake. Like I've had people to want to put up hands at church, and I still had to love them. And God just began to show like his deity and what he has for me. And I
Mhm.
just thank God because if I would have done things a different way, and I think about that all the time. What if I would have responded this way? Or what
Yeah.
if I would have responded that way? You can't do anything but to love on them. And the word of God says, love on those who despitefully use you. He also says in the word that he will make your enemies your footstool. And I'm laughing because my aunt went to the church with us and she said, girl, how many footstools do you have in your house?
Oh my God.
And it's so funny because as a pastor's wife, you just don't, unless you already done been there, done that, you don't know what it's gonna be like to be a pastor's wife. You can't even put expectations on it because every congregation is different.
Yes. Every congregation, and this is what I found out, and I share in the book when I didn't know, because I was Tanya before I was Lady Harden or First Lady Harden. I was Tanya. So walking into this was brand new, right? But now you get into it and you start learning your way, learning what's going on, learning who you are. And my love may be different than your love, and you can't tell me how to love you.
Amen.
You can't tell me how to love you. And here's what I learned, even in the process of love, type this in the screen, love without debt. I learned, man, you as a pastor's wife, hear me, every pastor wife under the sound of my voice. It's power when you learn to love them when they came and love
Mm-hmm.
them when they leave. That's
Amen.
power. Like you
Yep.
gotta love people. These people don't belong to us. They
Yep.
don't belong to nobody. They belong to God. So if they
Yep.
belong to God, I gotta love you without debt. And understand, and I talk about that in the book. Understand that people's time is up if their
Yep.
time is up. But we as pastor wives can't hold this grudge. Why can I tell you? Because I did it. I did. I did it. We gotta love without debt. And when you love without debt, that means you don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me nothing. And you can't tell me how to love you. I'm gonna love you the way I need to love you and however the Lord tell me to love you. But I'm gonna love you.
I'm gonna add this in.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna add this in there too. Is this year as we go through this journey, and I watch my wife and I watch other first ladies, pastors trying to learn how to do this, and first ladies trying to learn how to do this. We talk about not leaving the room, not letting them put your take your aroma out. One thing, women, you got to realize too is that if you stay in a room long enough, and they stay in a room long enough, they're gonna start smelling like you.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
oh, oh, can
uh,
somebody hold it up? That's
amen.
good, Bishop.
And usually what they're doing, they're fighting to see if your smell is genuine.
Ooh,
And if,
amen.
if you change, if you change, they see that you wasn't worth changing to.
Come
But if
here.
you outlive the fight, if you outlive the scratch, if you outlive me talking about you, you're gonna notice, and I've noticed this about a lot of women that hang around my wife, they begin to smell like her, they begin to look like her, they begin to talk like her. And first ladies don't get mad when they smell like you, walk like you, talk like you have officially become a trailblazer.
Come
Amen.
here. Oh,
Amen.
that's so good.
Or should I say
Amen.
atmosphere setter.
Atmosphere setting. I like that.
Yeah.
Amen.
I remember it's so funny because you have to be in tune with the word of God in order to take this walk. And I just went through a process. Someone from my old ministry asked me to be on one of their platforms. And when I got there, I was like, well, why didn't they ask me to speak? but they wanted me to pray. And God had to remind me, one, this is somebody, and I love the way you just said this. This is somebody who was smelling my fragrance, but now they're walking in the fragrance. And that prayer was more powerful than any of those words that ever could have been brought. And he said, it doesn't matter if you are a speaker on a platform, somebody praying on a platform, even somebody cleaning up from a platform. He
Hello.
said, whatever it is that's in you, it's going to come out of you. And I was like blown away because you can't take something that God gave me. And I love the fragrance thing because when I don't value myself, when I begin to value myself, everything else started catching up with that value that was already in there. Like the book is really showing me a lot of things, but this situation happened since I've been a part of the Pastor's Wife Connection, and it's been nothing but nothing less than a blessing to me.
So, a question I have for you: what has been the greatest healing you've received from the book? If it was something that you read this book and you
Wait, say that question. Write it. Wait, because I have to say this. I want to say it because that's a good. I want to close with that. I want to close with that. Talk about healing because I'm about to go somewhere. I deal with in this book for every pastor's wife that's listening.
tell
Love
them
me.
to invite people to this conversation. This is a good
Yeah,
conversation.
invite. Make sure you share this right now. This is great conversation. Share this. But in the book I share how because I don't want the women and people that are not pastor wives to think, oh, okay, it's just dogging women. I also talk about how pastor wives can be petty. Oh, oh, every pastor wife don't say nothing, but everybody else hearted up. I talk about how pastor wives can be petty, how we can walk past you and not even speak to you because I know you just talked about me. I know you. Oh, I talk about it. I talk about it. I talk
Ooh.
about it. Lady Joy. I talk about it because Pastor White, that's an inside thing, but I put it in the book because it's time out for pastors' wives being petty when they're too powerful for purpose.
Mm,
They're too
I gotta put
powerful
this
for
on now.
purpose.
mm.
They're too powerful for purpose. You're stopping and blocking those that are assigned to your remnant because you're being petty and you don't want to deal or you choose favorites and you don't want to deal with other people. Come here,
Ooh,
Pastor Right?
phew.
So the ones that like you, I'ma chill with y'all because y'all like me.
Jeez.
But what about the ones that don't? Because they're still assigned to you. I deal with it.
Yep, they are. They are.
They still
Ladies,
assigned to you.
Lady Thomas said, "Big boy petty." I love it.
I'm telling you, Pastor White, we can be big boy, like we be. Woo! We'll walk past you like you didn't sugar, and then act we dismiss you because I know you was talking about me. Can you love them even when they dog you out?
So can I add a
Hmm.
situation to what I said earlier?
Go ahead, Bishop. Yes.
So just because you can make them smell like you, what smell are you setting?
Ooh.
What atmosphere are you creating within women? Or what women are you sending home with these men to go to church?
Mm. Ooh.
That's one to eat up
Yeah.
because if you and the Bible says are you tied around your neck, you cause one. And you may not have meant to. Now that's a different. Let I do talk about that. I talk about that. You didn't mean it. You was just moving by your little dairy way and you was focused on it. You was mad at the pastor. And you was at church and they had no idea that you and him just had a whole come here, Pastor White. We had a whole heated fellowship in the car. Come here. And y'all mad and something. Now, I ain't talking about them kind of people. That ain't what I'm talking about. People have no idea and they think you mad at them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that one you know you mad. And
Mm.
now you contaminated their growth because you knew better. And here's the thing, Pastor's wife, and y'all let me know if I'm right or wrong. But you get in the car and you cry like a baby because you just caused God's people.
Yes, yes, yes.
And you're convicted. You can't sleep at night and you got to find a way to try to fix it.
Yes,
Now,
yes, yes.
some pastor wives may be rebellious and don't fix it. But the others, for me, I'm just me. I get convicted. I'm like, whoa, let me fix that. I got
Yes.
I got to fix that because there's too much power in you. And I would say that to any woman. You can be petty too. I'm going to get that curveball. You can be petty too, women. Be petty Betty. When you know that God said, baby, she assigned to you. That's why you frustrated with her.
Mm-hmm.
You're frustrated with her. Every woman on the call that's not a pastor's wife, listen, you're frustrated, but you acting funny. You know better. You know you
Mm.
was a trailblazer, and they stop it. Get over it. Get over yourself. Okay, but back to the healing.
Can
Glory.
I read this top part here? On the
Yes,
back
sir.
of Pastor T book, it says, this is how it starts out, y'all. It says, what do you do when you are in a place that is supposed to bring you peace, but in the words of Tupac, all eyes on you? And if you make a mistake, you are the target. What do you do when those that look up to you now have a goal to destroy you and your character? Do you lash out? Do you bash them on social media? Do you, I'm gonna say it again, bash them on social media? Do you confront the issue? Do you bury it? What do you do about the hurt you experience as a pastor wife in a church? I'm gonna say as a leading woman.
As the leading lady in the church. That's what this book is about. So ask your question, Bishop. I'm sorry.
So that's,
Wait, I want to read this. Petty stays in a box. Power revolves. Find your circle of love.
wow, that's good.
That's good. I think that's lady. I think that's lady. Lady. Yeah, never mind.
Petty stays in the box. That means you don't go nowhere. You stuck, staying in one spot, walking in a circle.
Do you bash them or come on?
I've seen
So
a first lady bash women on social media.
yeah, it's the messages that are posted, the
And,
inside. We.
I've seen a first lady bash members who left their church.
Oh really?
That was the most
but
disappointing thing.
you can't bash them, even when they bashing you. Like, and I've seen some bashing,
It's
but you
not right.
can't bash them back.
It's not right. No matter what, we're all God's people. We all
Amen.
make mistakes. I talk about that, the importance of allowing your doors to always be open.
And I say this here,
Hmm.
I always teach this, and anybody ever know me very long, I always teach from a hospital perspective. That we're not restaurants, we're hospitals. We serve like we're in a hospital, not a restaurant. And I'm gonna say the last part most importantly. At a hospital, a nurse goes in a room, she get bled on, she get body fluids on her, and she just leaves the room, changes clothes, and put on new clothes and come back to serving. And this walk, you can't let the people change how you respond. You gotta realize you signed up for this. And if you sign up for this, you're gonna get some blood on you. You're gonna get some bodily fluids on you. You're gonna get some words that's not nice to you. And I think that's why you need to read this book because she teaches you not only the bad you go through, she teaches the good, but also she teaches how to remain connected to God, connected to your marriage,
Yes.
and connected to ministry because we know all those things can separate us from God,
Yep.
can separate you from your marriage,
Yep.
and most importantly, can separate you from
Of
ministry.
ministry. That's beyond the four walls of your church. That's beyond the four. Okay. Question you was gonna ask about.
So I was curious because my wife she put a lot of sweat equity, tear equity, blood equity in this book because she's gone through a lot. When you read this book so far, I don't know if you finished it, but what has been the one thing you read and you immediately applied and healed your life somewhere?
Well, again, I'm in a course and I try to apply everything. Um, I've taken the fact that, and the God thing is one thing that's just like top priority, but the marriage piece of it is huge for me. Even when we are in the class, even when when I've read that part of the book, I saw some things that I could have done a lot better and that I'm still fighting to, not fighting, but I'm moving intentionally towards as it pertains to my marriage. And we recently had a conversation. We did the part in the class and everything else, and we were having a conversation, and I just broke down. I don't even know why I broke down that particular day, but just having that conversation and knowing that's what she talks about in the book, I had to go back and rethink some things. I had to go back and correct some things because just because I'm going through some things doesn't mean I have to respond the way that the world responds. And I'm not going to put it out there like that, because one day God is going to give my husband the freedom to let me talk. But
Yeah,
until then, I'm just going to say, just reading her book showed me that there are certain things as a woman, but especially as a pastor's wife, that's not okay. And just because it's happening in one room, don't mean that you have to allow it to happen in another room. Because we're supposed to live in a Christian room and not a worldly room.
Yeah.
So that helped me tremendously. It has been weighing on me. I'm not even gonna lie, it's been weighing on me. When I say the conviction has been real, it's been real, and I've been taking the steps to get that corrected.
no,
Wow.
that's deep.
I thank you for your honesty. I thank you for your transparency, but most of all, I thank you for your commitment to the class. I haven't been in the class a lot, but I've seen the residue on the call I was on the other day, and I want to say thank you, sweetheart. Thank you
Yes, thank
not
you.
letting this stuff separate you from God. I know I could have separated you from God. I could have separated you from marriage and ministry because I didn't see what she saw. I didn't see what these first ladies see around the world. I don't see what the leading ladies see around the world. I thought that you could ignore it and it'll just eventually you'll just get used to it, but you never get used to the viciousness of the attack that comes your way. Men don't get it like y'all do. If we don't get it, we don't see it. But I literally saw that women can be vicious to each other, and it's not fair, but it's true. How do you respond? Do you lose your fragrance, or do you keep your fragrance, or do you get past the book and
And
read it?
learn how.
And
I
learn how.
Yeah, I would say this to any just in any last words you want to say, and then I'll just kind of close it out. But any last words you want to, well, I'll say this. Let me say this, and then I'll let y'all close it. To any pastor's wife that is out there, if you have not apologized properly in your wrongdoing, I encourage you to apologize. I encourage you to apologize. You pray about it. You ask God, how is it? I stood in front of my church and apologized openly. And I thanked the women and whoever else wanted to call and talk to me. Call and talk to me. Let's talk about it. But I apologize because why? We're always evolving and we're always growing. And during your evolving moment, you may hurt someone unknowingly and sometimes knowingly. And I talk about that in the book. So I encourage any pastor's wife, so that you can walk in the freedom that day I did that. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
do.
That day I did that. I was so free, and whoever wanted to talk to me afterwards, we had a conversation. And it's just freedom in knowing, okay, I'm gonna make mistakes going forward. And I just want to let y'all know, to my church family, thank y'all for evolving with me. But let's just grow together because you're gonna always be evolving. You're always gonna grow. So I encourage any pastor's wife that is watching is take the time to heal for real. Take the
Amen.
to heal for real. During this time that I wrote this book, and this is the hard copy, by the way, you can also get it. But read when I wrote this book, it took me, when I wrote Marriage Survival Guide, it took me 3 months to write it. When I wrote There's Power in Your Pain, it took me 7 months. When I wrote Church Hurt But It Helped, it took me probably a month, maybe not that long. But when I wrote this, it took me 2 years to write this book because there's so much pain that I didn't realize, and I'm not gonna cry on this live. Mm-mm, mm-mm. There's so much pain that I didn't realize that I was holding on to. Even though I asked them to forgive me, I was still holding the residue. I forgave, but the residue was still there. And I literally had to take the time to heal for real. I encourage any pastor's wife, if you want to go to the next level, you got to heal for real. And
Amen.
I encourage any woman that is watching and you have your pastor's wife in the ministry, you have a pastor's wife and you love her dearly. Please have not sympathy, but empathy for her. Please have empathy. And not because we don't need your sympathy. We don't need you to feel sorry for us. But just have and understand that there's a lot that she carries. And she has to understand there's a lot that you carry.
Yep.
And we just gotta understand each other together. So,
Amen.
so if I can encourage anybody on here that's watching, and y'all, we almost done. Thank y'all, because I got one more thing I want to do before we close out. But I want to encourage that woman, encourage your pastor wife. My church did something for me that blessed my. Ah, it was so authentic, and it was just so. Pastors' wives just need that moment of appreciation, and I appreciate my church family and our covering and the people that Bishop we cover together, the pastors. Appreciate it because pastors need to be appreciated and not just tolerated. Type that on the screen. Thank you, Lady Marilyn Johnson. Pastor wives need to be appreciated and not just tolerated. We're human. Don't treat us like we're nothing. God gifted him just as well as he gifted us.
Yep.
Amen. Amen.
Any last words, Lady Payne? And then I'm going to do something real quick.
Oh, first of all, thank you both. Thank you for the invite. Thank you, Bishop, for supporting your wife in everything. And I just pray for all of the pastor wives that are listening that's going to get that book. I just got my new books in the mail and I am excited. I can't wait. I've been praying about who to give the next book to. But I just thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for helping me and other women who have come through the Butterfly Academy to learn that there is freedom in walking and being a pastor's wife and that we do have value. Um,
No.
so that's what I have. So,
Thank you. I want to say to Lady Joy, I've never met you. I don't know where you're from. Can you put the city that you're from? I didn't get it yet. I think I gave you I don't know what happened, but anyway, I want to say thank you because in the month of March she celebrated different pastor wives all over. Can y'all heart it up for her really, really quick? Her name is Joy Thomas, Lady Joy Thomas.
man,
Where are you from, Lady Joy Thomas? I've never met you, but she celebrated pastor wives, and I was one of them, and you
amen.
had no idea, Pastor Joy, um, how much it meant to me. Okay, she's from South Carolina. Thank you for the gift. I'm gonna inbox you because I don't know what happened and I wasn't here. I was out of town, but I want to say thank you. I know what all that you do. You know, for the women in the month of March. Just met you on social media, and I want to just say thank you for taking out the time to do what you do for Pastor's wife, and I pray that God give you tenfold. You know, like never before.
Me too. I really do thank
Thank
you as well. It was a beautiful write up that you wrote.
Yeah, it was a beautiful write up. I cried, and that was the month that I really, it was that month you didn't had a hard year writing this book and just my emotions all over the place. My church did something every Sunday, and then you turned around and did that, and I was just like, oh my God, I feel so loved. So I thank you so much, Lady Joy Thomas. Just shout out to you, and I can't wait to meet you as well. Hopefully, if we're in South Carolina one day, I'm gonna come rock out with you. Or if you're in Texas, come rock out with us. I would love to meet you guys. All right, Bishop, last words, honey.
I just say, this is number seven. And in most cases, you'll say, completion, but this is not completion. I say, this is the end of this chapter, the beginning of many other chapters. My wife has written a lot from her pain. Her very first book was Power in Your Pain. We dealt with the lessons we learned from our marriage. That was painful. She dealt with other books, and then here goes this book dealing with, the fragrance that was actually
Ooh,
was out of her through pain. The actual fragrance was squazzed through transition. I believe that in the next season of the next chapter in your life, you're going to begin to preach from power. You're going to be able to shift and start teaching and writing books from a whole different position of authority and winning. So this is seventh book, but I don't believe this is the end. There's so much more in her, and I thank you for writing and bleeding so other people can live through your pain. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
I thank you, Bishop, for showing up. I know we had the technical issues earlier, but I thank. Can y'all heart it up for Bishop,
I,
Lady
I didn't even
Trivia?
shave my hair for this.
I know he wasn't ready. It was last minute, but I believe y'all did great. Heart it up for them. Thank everybody for joining. So this is what I want to do. I always do a giveaway. I always have to do a giveaway. I want to give away a book, and those And what I'll do, I'll come and pull tomorrow morning. I'll come and pull tomorrow morning and do a live pull with the book. So you'll be able to get the book as well as this. So if you would put the number 7 on the screen for book number 7. Put the number 7 on the screen. I'm going to keep this open and you will get the, you know what? I'm going to do it in the next, because I ain't going to wait for nobody to watch the replay. We going to do it within the next couple of minutes, right? And I'll make sure I come back live and do it live real quick. But put the, okay, Cassandra, it's your book. She did it first. Oh, somebody else did. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to wait because I don't know how this is going. So I'm gonna go live in the next. What time is it here? It is 9 o'clock, so 9:30. I'll come back live and do a live giveaway for this. I'm also want to give away. It's a shirt over there. You're passing. I have a shirt, and I want to give this to a pastor's wife. I gave it to all of my mentees that are part of the Pastor's Wife Connection. And I want to give away, and I want to give away to another woman. How about that? I got two. I thought I had one. So if I always use the term, what I always say, wait, I want Lady Trivia to say it. What I always say, what's my
God,
big saying?
God, marriage, and ministry.
God, man, but what did I say on the shirt that you got? What did it say?
God chose me.
So I always say God chose you, you didn't choose him. And it's a scripture in
Yes.
the Bible that says God chose me. You it's John 15 and 16. And I say that thank you. I see something Sister Dim say. I know what she say. But God chose me. So this is a size, it's a both of them I think are XL. And I want to give this away. So if you would put the number, where we at? Number this is year 4 for the Pastor's Wife Connection. So put the number 4. God chose me. It's an XL. I want to give to a pastor's wife, and another one I want to give away to someone else that wants it. God chose me. I would love for you to have this shirt. This shirt. Just put the number 4 and number 7 if you want the book. Did nobody put the number 4? How about I send it with the book? Oh, okay, there we go. Awesome. All right, it's a delay on
If
Facebook.
you're a first lady, say number 4 with first lady.
Number if you are a pastor's wife, I want you to put the number 1 on the screen for first lady. Put the number 1 on the screen for your shirt. Number 1, put the number 1. And I'm gonna go through because this is on Facebook as well as YouTube as well as my regular page. So I gotta go get all the people that have done it, and I'm gonna come back live and give this away. I will on do I give another book away?
Yeah, I think you got to give Sonya hers since you said she won it. You got to give it away.
Yeah, Sonya. So I owe your book, Sonya. I have it at church. Remind me. So Sonya, can y'all hold it up for her? Because I did say her name, and I like to be a woman of my word, Jesus.
And then you give
So
another one away.
and give another book away.
Give another book away.
Yeah, oh, bitch, they give. Okay, God bless.
You get a book. You get a
We're not doing that.
book.
So Sonya, so that's just for you, period. But I'm gonna give one more book away, a book and a what's the name? So with that, uh, put the number 7. Put the number 7. So I'm gonna give 2 books away. I'm gonna give a book away. I'm gonna try with a first lady, and then I'm gonna give a book away to a woman. How about that? To somebody else. So I'm gonna give the book away to them. You're welcome, love. Love you so much. So I'm gonna give the book away with them, and come back in the month of June. I was
Bishop, yes, Bishop B.O.
Lady Joy. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back in the month of June. Those of you that get the book, get ready to rock out with me for my birthday month. And I'm gonna come live twice a week. I was gonna do it next week. I don't have the time. My schedule is crazy. So I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do a book club with this book where I'm gonna be going through the different things in the book. So I would love to rock out with you. It will not be on Facebook. It will be on a Google platform. So you can come and rock out with me. Ask me any questions. It's like that moment with the author, I guess, Lady Trivia, to where you
Yeah.
can just ask me any questions. The books are 25. It's on sale for $25 for both books. The other book is 18. It's on my website. Sister Dendra, can you put my website, Sister Lee, Sister Dendra, in the thing, and that you could go to tanyaharton.com.
Can you
Tanya
order the hard
Harton.
copy on your website?
You can also order the hard copy.
On your website?
No, that's on Amazon.
I'm
But you can
find
order.
that hard.
Huh?
I'm going to find the hard copy.
Oh, order it from me. I'm gonna make it available
Yeah,
on my
tell them make it
website.
on website tomorrow. The hard copy
The
will be
hard
available.
copy will be available tomorrow on my website. I'd rather do it on my
So how do you
website
get
than
an
that.
autographed copy?
So you get an autographed copy if you order on my website. If you order on Amazon, you won't get an autographed copy. But if you order on my website, you will get an autographed copy. Thank you,
Hey,
Sister Leslie. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go pull all these names from all the different social medias. Thank you, Sister Lee. TanyaHarden.com. Go to my website. You can purchase my book there. Tonight, it like I said, you can get the two or you can get the one book, and I will be giving two away, including the shirts. I want to give them away. You can card it there. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go check this out, fill it out. Can you invoice me the set for one and then two books? Yes, I sure can. I will. Lady Joy, Sister Lee, you'll put my email address on there, admin@tanyaharton.com, admin@tanyaharton.com. If you can send me your information, your email, Lady Joy, and I can get you the information there. And I'll send you an invoice for that. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Awesome, awesome. So I'm gonna go do this. Thank y'all for rocking out. I thank you. I want to read this. So proud of you, Pastor T. Excited for all those that will read this book. Going to order mine now. I will like mine signed, please. Yes, ma'am. I love you so much. You
love you, Miss
got it.
Leslie.
Love you, Lady Leslie. Okay, so Lady Trivia, I thank you. Everybody, can you heart it up? Just send your love right now to myself and to the 7 years of celebration. Woo, woo, woo.
Fireworks. You got fireworks on the screen,
Fireworks. Ain't no
girl.
fireworks on there, no. Thank y'all again for rocking out. God bless y'all. Until next time, join me in the month of June during my birthday month as we rock out with this book. Until then, remember, Pastor's Wife, if you don't remember nothing else, Lady Trivia, let's say it together. It's best that you must do what? Stay connected to God.
Lord,
Stay connected
marriage, and ministry.
In
in
that
that
order.
order and watch God work. Until next
Yes.
time, stay blessed. Y'all have a good night. And I'll come back at 9:30. See you then. Bye bye. Central Standard Time. Love you much. Thank y'all for rocking out.